New Orleans was a very important city during the civil rights movement. Many of activists like Dr. Martin Luther King actually planned sit-ins and had sit-ins right here in this restaurant. Anthony Davis is averaging just about 25 points, 7 boards, 2 blocks, and 2 steals this preseason. If he can carry those stats into the season, he may be looking at his first ever All-Star appearance right here in New Orleans. With the Pelicans for Fox 8 Sports, Nate Fears. Because of the construction, Ferret is now a one-way street. Business owner Mike Casey says he has seen people driving the opposite way, which is putting people's lives in danger. Coming up on Fox 8, we have an exclusive interview with Leah Chase, the owner of Dookie Chase, as she relives her personal moments with Dr. King. The car barreled through this yard, knocking down tree branches and also leaving debris along the yard. The head of the Bio District says for the new VA hospital to reach its full jobs potential, the city needs to step up in helping bring investors to this area. Celebrities like former Saints cornerback Mike McKenzie and current Saints cornerback Keenan Lewis were also in attendance to lend their support. The blight in this area is so bad that tires are racked up on the side and on the street, making it almost impossible for 2-lane traffic through Piety Street. The parish is hoping to make this levee 12 feet tall, making it under new federal law requirements. The parish hopes the levee can be adopted into the new federal system, and then this levee can be raised a little higher. Cedric Richmond is proposing the Dredge Act of 2013, which will make this channel 50 feet deep. The current depth is only at 45 feet. Plans are that a bigger channel equals bigger and more vessels through the canal. One day after a speeding car plows through a St. Bernard home, the surviving homeowner describes the horrific event. I'm Nate Fears, and I have that story coming up. Kalen plans on going to college and studying kinesiology. His dream is to one day become a football coach, since his football playing days are probably over. For Fox 8 News, Nate Fears. Federal job stimulus money is being put to work here. I'm Nate Fears, and I'll tell you how business at the Napoleon Wharf is picking up. This is the 5th annual school supply giveaway, sponsored by the De Niro Shavers Educational Fund. Now this event is in part in tribute to his life. He was fatally wounded back in New Orleans in 2006. Safe Camp started as protection to French Quarter residents and only had 25 locations where cameras were present. Now the program has exploded with 375 cameras in the 8th district. Back in 2005, when Hurricane Katrina and Rita ripped through this area, it gave the house a few feet of water. But last year, when Hurricane Isaac ripped through, it gave this house a whopping amount of 11 feet of water, almost reaching the 12-foot ceilings. Here in the Saints Hall of Fame Museum, there are 8 of these Schecter guitars, but this one is special. It's the one that was donated after the Saints won Super Bowl 44. A New Orleans couple getting ready to celebrate one of the biggest art events in the city finds some unwanted art on their front door. I'm Nate Fears, and I'll have that story coming up. Dookie Chase Restaurant, located in Treme, was a meeting ground for civil rights activists dating back to the late 40s.
Even when I went to Paris, I told them, I feel in some ways that in this restaurant, people changed the course of America because they planned all the movements and made all the changes. And
Leah Chase, owner of Dookie Chase, played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement.
And I think it's our rapport with the total community. Man, I always work the total community, white, black, or whatever.
She remembers Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. She also remembers the fear her and many African Americans faced, fearing the reaction the speech would bring.
Those of us, the older people, really, we were frightened because when you get that many people together, man, all those people together, you say something's gonna go wrong.
Before hosting presidents and celebrities, she hosted Dr. King and recalls her personal memories of him.
He wasn't a man to mingle like. He wasn't like Jesse. Jesse Jackson mingled with everybody he come, but King wasn't like that.
New Orleans was a very important city during the civil rights movement. Many of activists like Dr. Martin Luther King actually planned sit-ins and had sit-ins right here in this restaurant.
America was going one way. We were not getting what we thought we should get as black people. And they talked about it in here. They planned their meetings in here. And they planned their sit-ins and everything in this dining room.
The course of America was changed during the movement. But 50 years later, many say it's still a work in progress.
I'm going to work it I tell you, man, I'll be on this battlefield till I die, because I am not going to give up.
For Fox 8 News, Nate Fears. If you drive around any part of New Orleans, you'll be sure to see construction. The biggest construction site in the city is that of the new UMC VA hospitals located downtown. More than 1,000 jobs will be generated because of the hospitals alone, but some say that's not enough. The head of the Bio District says for the new VA hospital to reach its full jobs potential, the city needs to step up in helping bring investors to this area.
What's envisioned in the legislation is that the city would actually fund the Bio District and or allow us to use our own taxing and fee authority to fund our operations.
That taxing authority will be used to generate money to lure in biomedical, pharmaceutical, and research firms that could benefit from the medicine practice at the new hospitals. But so far, nothing of that nature has been added to this neighborhood yet. Carrie Wellington has called this downtown area home for most of her life, and she hopes the hospitals can generate more biomedical-related businesses in her neighborhood.
None at all. None. I've just heard about. Like I said, I've heard about a lot of the, what is going to be done or what could be done, but really company-wise, I haven't seen anything develop. All the development we're seeing is just the same, the LSU and the medical and the VA hospital. But
the worst fear is that the companies the hospitals want to attract may go elsewhere, and Jim McNamara says that could happen, since he says the city has failed to live up to the requirements of a 2005 law that says it should provide funds or a taxing agreement to benefit the Bio District, whose boundaries go far and beyond the new hospitals.
About $1.3 million a year, which will over time net us about 34,000 new jobs and about $24 billion worth of personal income.
How have you been funded up to this point?
We have not been funded at this point.
According to McNamara, the time to act is now.
If we don't do something within the next 6 months to a year, I'm afraid we've lost the opportunity.
The opportunity to bolster up New Orleans' biomedical industry and have businesses the new hospitals were supposed to bring go elsewhere. For Fox 8 News, Nate Fears.